Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 1. You might be noticing I am wearing the same thing, but I just filmed the intro, so don't judge me. And if you do, don't judge me. Anyways, getting right into episode 1. Episode 1 is, you ready? You ready? You ready? Okay, you ready. So it's kind of just saying like, are you at a point in your life where you have lost control and binge eating is the only thing that is giving you that control in your body and in your mind? So not only can binge eating happen when you are on a crazy restrictive diet and your body is like, I need nourishment. Binge eating can also happen when you are trying to fill a void in your life, because if you think about it, food is basically just pleasures. Obviously, it's nourishing us and giving us fuel to live, but it's also pleasure, okay? Think about you biting into your favorite piece of pie, your favorite piece of cake, your favorite tacos, burgers, pizza. Y'all can tell I like food, right? But it's amazing. So when you're at a point where it's like maybe you're sad or stressed, you know, if you're not kind of at a point where you have other things that you do to alleviate that stress or alleviate those emotions, then food's right there. And that's just going to give you the space to be like, I'm going to eat my cake and this is going to make me feel good. And I'm going to be in charge again of myself. I'm going to be in charge of my emotions and my stress because this is going to help me. Right? So you might be using binge eating as that void filler, okay? So when it comes to having control, think about different parts of your life. So are you happy at work? Are you happy in your family life? Are you happy in your social life? Love life? Let's see, anything else. There's so many different types of areas in your life, you know, your spiritual life, emotional life, everything. So say if you're eating well and you're not at a point where you're restricting and you're on a crazy diet, but you're still binging, use this time to acknowledge if there are any other things in your life that are just crazy off, crazy wonky, okay? Because, for example, if I knew that every day I had to go to this job that I hated and it just literally emotionally wrecked me, crushed my soul, everything. I just felt so beat by the end of the day. But I knew that when I got home, I could just binge on ice cream and cake and all that stuff. That's going to make you happy, right? That's going to fill that void that just was sucked out of you that whole day. So you have to take a point where you have to acknowledge what is happening in your life and if it's benefiting you or not benefiting you, okay? If it's making you binge or if you are at a point where you are just like, I'm just going to keep binging because this is the only happiness that I have in my life and I can control what I eat. I can control what I buy. I can control what I put in my mouth. And that is giving you power, right? That's giving you power. But in the end, it's taking your power away from you because you are no longer in control of your body. You are no longer in control of the habits. You're no longer in control of how you process things that you go through your day. Because as much as you're thinking, I can get that ice cream, I can get that cake, and that's going to make me feel better. No. That ice cream, that cake, that pizza, that's all that food has control over you, and you no longer have control of anything at that point. Obviously, you have control of some things, but when you are under the spell of food, that is a whole other story, okay? So how the hell can you get out of this spell? It depends what your situation is. So if you are at a point where you are constantly restricting food, you are already building up that control where the food takes it. Because think about this as a kid. When you wanted something, I want it, right? And your mom's like, no, little Timmy, no, little little Sammy, you can't have it. So you're like, I want it, right? So we're still doing that as adults. We are still completely doing that as adults. So as much as you keep taking away and taking away, your body's just like, I want it, I need it, I gotta have it, right? But once you get to the point where you stop restricting and you eat food when you want it, food loses the power because you're like, I can have that when I want it. And that's it. So it's crazy, just that little switch in your life. I mean, obviously it's not a little switch because it's a process to get there. Trust me, I went through it, but it's a beautiful process. Okay. So that is if you're at a point where you're restricting your food due to dieting, and you can even be restricting your food when you're not dieting, when you're just eating super clean, super healthy. So restricting. It's still a form of restriction, and it's still kind of giving food that control. Now, let's go to the other side. If you're at a point where there are things in your life that are just not fulfilling for you, and you're still filling those voids with food, then it's time to become aware of that. It's time to acknowledge that you are unhappy in these certain areas. It's time to stand up and take responsibility for it as well. So, if it's your job and you're just not happy, maybe it's time for a new job. Maybe it's time to add different things in your life that make you happy. But when I say that, it's like putting a Band-Aid on it. So if you're truly unhappy with your job, either maybe within your company, you can find another position that will make you happier, that you can rotate to, or maybe you can take on more responsibilities that lift you up, that give you light. But basically, it's getting to that point where you have to step into your responsibility and acknowledge what you need to fill that void rather than food. Because you could always have food, but you could always have that happiness too if you create it. If you take the time to acknowledge that something is missing, then you can create that, okay? So basically, when it comes to losing control in multiple different ways, they both can create the habit of binge eating. And in order to just get past binge eating, you have to get to a point where you create awareness of what you are doing. Okay. And if you're at a point where you are binging and you just have no idea why you are doing it, start asking yourself, why am I binging? What is going on in my life that makes me so unhappy that I have to fill it with food? Okay. Obviously food's awesome, but it's a time and a place, and it's taking that responsibility to kind of get to the point where you want to make these changes. Because when I was in that binge zone, I just let it go. And I was like, this is my life. I'm just going to keep binging because this is what I do. And it's easy to get in that zone, because you have so much other shit going on that you're just like, it's fine. This is just how I have to live. But it's not how you have to live. It's not how you have to live. You do not have to binge every day. You do not have to binge every weekend. You do not have to be scared of food. Okay? You have the power to heal. You have the power to have full control over your life. Okay? And obviously, as we go through life, things are always going to come at us, but you have the power to build up that awareness and that ability to be ready for shit to come at you and still stand there like an awesome statue ready for life. So y'all, I hope that helped you kind of depicting where you are at with your binging and how you can get past your binging. And like I said, if you have questions, feel free to come ask me and start a chat and dialogue and anything like that. If you're at a point where you're like, I want to get binging out of my life and I'm done with it, I'm ready to heal, your girl can help you. I have one-to-one coaching as well as a group coaching program coming out this Friday, actually. This Friday, 11/22. Okay, so whenever you watch this, November 22nd is when my group coaching program will start open for clients to come on in so we can kill some shit. Anyways, thank you for watching. There will be more episodes coming your way. Stay tuned. Cheers.